Terry Jean Bollea, the man behind the myth, exploring how he became a legend and the costs he paid for it. Terry Jean Bollea, born on August 11, 1953, in Augusta, Georgia, did not seem destined to be a global icon. The son of a humble family, he dreamed of music and baseball, but an injury kept him from the fields and led him to an unexpected path. Under the guidance of legendary trainer Hiro Matsuda, Bollea discovered professional wrestling, adopting the name Hulk Hogan, inspired by his imposing presence and the comic book hero. This name was not just a pseudonym, it became a brand that would redefine entertainment. How did an ordinary young man transform into an eternal symbol? His magnetic energy and authenticity were the keys. In the 1970s, Hogan began in regional circuits, facing opponents in smoke-filled gyms. He was not just strong, he told stories with every blow, turning matches into narratives of heroism. When he arrived at WWE in 1979, his presence dominated the ring. Standing 1.90 m and weighing over 130 kilograms, he was a force of nature, but his charisma made him accessible. In Spain, where professional wrestling was seen as an eccentric spectacle, Hogan began appearing on TVs in the 1980s, captivating an audience that had never seen anything like it. Why did he captivate a nation so far away? Hogan's rise coincided with the globalization of WWE, led by Vince McMahon. He was not just a wrestler, he was the face of an expanding industry. His ability to connect with the audience transcended languages and cultures. In Spain, children began imitating his iconic pose, tearing imaginary shirts, while adults were enchanted by his energy. Hogan didn't just sell tickets, he sold dreams. But this rise brought relentless pressure. How to maintain the image of an invincible hero? The answer lay in his motto: train, pray, and take vitamins. This motto, simple yet powerful, resonated deeply in a Spain that valued perseverance and family. Hogan was not just an athlete, he was a model of resilience. However, living as an icon demanded sacrifices. Long tours kept him away from home, planting the seeds of personal conflicts that would mark his life. While he conquered the world, his family felt his absence. How does someone balance public glory with private life? This question would follow Hogan for decades. Hogan's impact went beyond the ring. His appearance in Rocky III, 1982, as Thunderlips, introduced him to an audience unfamiliar with wrestling. In Spain, where the film was shown on open channels, Hogan became a household name. He was no longer just a wrestler, he was a pop star. But fame comes at a cost. Every step he took increased scrutiny over his life. Hogan was building an empire, but at what cost? His story is a reminder that even giants face weaknesses. Bollea's transformation into Hogan is a saga of talent, opportunity, and sacrifice. He not only changed wrestling, he created a phenomenon that inspired millions. In Spain, his heroic image resonated in a culture that admires determination. But his rise also raises a universal question: what are we willing to sacrifice to achieve greatness? Hogan paid dearly for his legend, and his story invites us to reflect on our own ambitions. In the 1980s, Hulkamania was not just a slogan, it was a cultural movement that transformed wrestling into a global spectacle. Hogan, with his yellow bandana and ripped shirts, became the heart of WWE, winning 12 world titles and starring in historic events like WrestleMania III, 1987, where he defeated Andre the Giant in front of 93,000 people. That match, known as the Body Slam that echoed around the world, became an urban legend in Spain, where children reenacted it in backyard games. What made those moments so unforgettable? Hogan had a unique gift: he turned every fight into an epic story of good versus evil. His matches were not just physical, they were emotional. He entered the ring to the sound of Sweet Child O' Mine, electrifying crowds. In Spain, WWE broadcasts in the 1990s, through channels like Telecinco, brought this spectacle into homes. In a country where soccer dominated, Hogan created a unique space, uniting families in front of the TV. How did an American conquer such a culturally different audience? The secret lay in his authenticity. Hogan lived his character, embodying values of courage and perseverance. His motto inspired fans to pursue their dreams, and in Spain, where personal triumph is an ideal, he found resonance. Hogan's yellow and red shirts began appearing in sports stores, something unthinkable in a market dominated by soccer uniforms. It is estimated that Hulkamania generated hundreds of millions of dollars in tickets, merchandise, and broadcast rights. But this success had a dark side. The pressure to maintain the superhero image was overwhelming. Hogan lived under a microscope, where every decision was scrutinized. Backstage, he faced real rivalries with wrestlers like Randy Savage and the Ultimate Warrior. In Spain, fans saw only the hero, the internal tensions were invisible. But these struggles revealed a truth: fame is a constant battle. How did Hogan deal with this pressure without losing his essence? His resilience was as impressive as his blows in the ring. Beyond sports, Hogan shaped pop culture. His appearance at the Grammys alongside Cyndi Lauper in 1985 brought wrestling to the mainstream. In Spain, this moment was seen as a curiosity but reinforced his iconic status. His films, like No Holds Barred, 1989, and Suburban Commando, 1991, were shown on Open TV, winning over even those who didn't follow WWE. However, criticism of his acting suggested he struggled to escape the character. Was Hogan an actor trapped in a wrestler? Hulkamania was a watershed, but also a lesson about the price of fame. In Spain, Hogan inspired a generation to dream big, but his story challenges us to reflect. What does it mean to be a hero in a world that demands perfection? His economic and cultural legacy is undeniable, but Hogan's personal scars remind us that even the greatest icons are human. Hulk Hogan was a symbol of heroism, but his life was marked by controversies that tested his image. In the 1990s, the steroid scandal rocked WWE. In 1994, Hogan admitted in court to using these substances under prescription to treat injuries. In Spain, where wrestling was already questioned as a sport, this episode fueled debates about its legitimacy. How did Hogan maintain his popularity after such a serious scandal? The most devastating controversy came in 2015, when a leaked video revealed Hogan using racist language while commenting on his daughter Brooke's love life. WWE temporarily removed him from the Hall of Fame, and in Spain, where racial sensitivity was growing, the news sparked outrage. Hogan apologized, but fans were divided. Some forgave him, seeing the incident as a mistake, others rejected him. Were his words a reflection of his era or something deeper? His love life also made headlines. His marriage to Linda Claridge, 1983 to 2009, ended amid infidelities, including an affair with a friend of Brooke's. In Spain, where Hogan was seen as a defender of family values, this scandal shocked fans. The reality show Hogan Knows Best exposed these tensions, showing a man struggling to balance fame and fatherhood. How did an icon of morality fall into such public contradictions? In 2016, Hogan won a lawsuit against the website Gawker for publishing a private tape, earning $100 million. In Spain, the case was seen as a defense of privacy, but also as a reminder of the excesses of fame. Some saw hypocrisy in his quest for redemption, others, a fight for dignity. Was Hogan a victim of a system that exploited his image or of his own choices? This question divides opinions to this day. In 2024, his support for Donald Trump at the Republican National Convention, where he tore his shirt to reveal a Trump t-shirt, generated mixed reactions. In Spain, where American politics is viewed with distance, some interpreted the gesture as part of his character, others, as a polarizing stance. In his last WWE appearance in January 2025, he was booed, possibly for this position. Should celebrities take sides in divisive debates? These controversies paint a complex portrait of Hogan, a hero to some, a flawed man to others. In Spain, his legacy was tarnished but not destroyed. His story invites us to reflect. How do we judge those we admire when they fail? Hogan teaches us that greatness comes with imperfections, and it is up to us to decide how to honor his impact. Outside the ring, Hogan's life was as intense as his matches. His first marriage to Linda Claridge produced 2 children, Brooke and Nick, but fame kept him away from home. In Spain, where family is a cultural pillar, fans were surprised to learn that the ring hero was an absent father. Brooke, in particular, spoke about the void left by his absence. How does someone balance ambition with fatherhood? The reality show Hogan Knows Best revealed these tensions to the world. Brooke sought Hogan's approval as a singer, while Nick faced legal issues after a car accident. In Spain, the show was a hit on channels like MTV, but it also exposed Hogan's flaws as a patriarch. Fans began to question, was the Hogan family a victim of fame or of their own choices? The show humanized Hogan but also revealed his weaknesses. The relationship with Brooke was particularly troubled. She accused him of excessive control and verbal abuse, especially regarding her relationships. For 8 years, they barely spoke. A fact that shocked Spanish fans, accustomed to close-knit families. Their reconciliation in 2023, during Hogan's marriage to Sky Daly, was a moment of relief. Brooke expressed gratitude for healing wounds before his death. Why is it so crucial to repair family ties? Hogan married 2 more times, to Jennifer McDaniel, 2010 to 2021, and Sky Daly, 2023 to 2025. His relationship with Sky, 25 years younger, sparked speculation in Spain about a quest for youth. Sky defended his health until the end, denying rumors of a coma. However, Hogan never met Brooks' children, his grandchildren, raising questions about his priorities. Did he choose public legacy over family? This doubt lingers over his legacy. The Hogan family story is a mirror of the struggles of many celebrities. Fame both united and divided them, and their saga resonates in Spain, where family ties are sacred. The reconciliation with Brooks suggests Hogan found some peace, but his distance from his grandchildren leaves a void. What does his life teach us about balancing success and love? In Spain, Hogan's narrative is a warning about the costs of glory. His family bore the weight of his legend, and his story challenges us to reflect: is it worth sacrificing so much for stardom? The answer lies in the choices we make and the bridges we build before it's too late. Hulk Hogan's career was marked by glories, but also by a devastating physical toll. After retiring in 2013, he underwent about 25 surgeries, mainly on his spine and knees, the result of decades of impacts in the ring. In Spain, where contact sports are rare, fans were shocked to learn the price Hogan paid for his art. Each blow was a tribute to his legend, but also a wound to his body. In the months before his death, Hogan was seen using a cane after recent surgery. Social media photos showed him fragile, a contrast to the giant of the 1980s. In Spain, these images evoke nostalgia but also sadness. Fans shared memories of his epic matches, wondering how a titan could seem so vulnerable. Were we ready to see our hero age? Rumors about his health circulated weeks before his death. Some outlets speculated he was in a coma, but Sky Daily denied this, stating his heart was strong. On July 24, 2025, Hogan passed away from cardiac arrest at his home in Clearwater, Florida. In Spain, the news shocked, with headlines from El País highlighting his global impact. Why was his death so sudden if he seemed to be recovering? Studies suggest professional wrestlers have a reduced life expectancy due to physical and mental stress. Hogan's body endured decades of punishment, from falls to calculated blows. In Spain, where sports like boxing face criticism for their brutality, Hogan's story reignited debates about safety in wrestling. Is it an artistic spectacle? Or a human sacrifice? The Spanish community expressed its grief on social media, sharing videos of Hogan's iconic moments. But there were also reflections on how to better protect wrestlers. His death at 71 was a reminder of human fragility, even in the strongest. What can we learn from his silent battle? His story challenges us to value health over glory. Hogan's saga is a lesson about the body's limits. In Spain, where longevity is valued, his life reminds us that even heroes age. His legacy, however, endures, inspiring generations despite his physical struggles. How will we honor a man who gave everything for the spectacle? Although professional wrestling was not a traditional sport in Spain, Hulk Hogan captured the imagination of a generation. In the 1990s, WWE broadcasts on channels like Telecinco brought Hogan's spectacle into Spanish homes. Children imitated his gestures, tearing imaginary shirts, while young people saw him as a symbol of strength and charisma. In a country dominated by soccer, how did Hogan manage to create such a notable space? His authenticity and energy transcended cultural barriers. Hogan was not just a wrestler, he was a pop culture phenomenon. His appearances in films like Rocky III and Suburban Commando, regularly shown on Spanish TV, made him a familiar figure even to those who didn't follow WWE. These films, with their universal appeal, turned Hogan into an accessible hero. In Spain, where American cinema was adored, he became an icon that united generations. What makes a figure transcend such distinct cultures? Hogan's economic impact in Spain was remarkable. His yellow and red shirts were sold in sports stores, competing with uniforms of soccer clubs like Real Madrid and Barcelona. Action figures and other products bearing his image were a craze among children, an impressive feat in a market dominated by local toys. It is estimated that Hulkamania generated millions in global merchandising, and Spain was no exception. How did an American wrestler become a commercial icon in such a different country? Hogan's death on July 24, 2025, triggered a wave of emotion in Spain. Newspapers like El País and Marca published extensive obituaries, highlighting his cultural impact. Fans organized marathons of his matches in bars in Madrid and Barcelona, sharing memories of how Hogan inspired their childhood dreams. On social media, videos of his epic entrances went viral, showing the enduring power of his image. Why did his loss resonate so deeply? Hogan also left a legacy in Spain's small but growing wrestling community. Events like those of Triple W in Madrid revere his name, with local wrestlers citing him as an inspiration. In a country where wrestling remains a niche, Hogan opened doors for new talent. But his story also raises questions: how do we honor an icon with a controversial past? Spain, with its culture of public debate, continues to reflect on this. Hogan's bond with Spain is a testament to his universal charisma. He brought spectacle and emotion to a country with distinct sporting traditions, proving that heroes can cross borders. His story invites us to think, which other icons managed to touch Spain's heart so uniquely? Hogan remains a symbol of how passion and authenticity can unite worlds. In the final years of his life, Hulk Hogan dove into politics, publicly aligning himself with Donald Trump. In 2024, at the Republican National Convention, he tore his shirt to reveal a Trump t-shirt, a gesture that went viral. In Spain, where American politics is viewed with curiosity and skepticism, reactions were mixed. Some fans saw the act as an extension of his theatrical character. Others, as a divisive choice. Why did Hogan decide to take such an open stance? His support for Trump was not new. Since the 1980s, Hogan cultivated an American hero image, with patriotic anthems like Real American as his soundtrack. This persona resonated less in Spain, but his charisma made it universal. However, aligning with Trump in 2024 placed him on polarized ground. In his final WWE appearance in January 2025, he was booed, possibly for this stance. How did this affect his relationship with fans? In Spain, where political polarization is familiar, fans debated whether the boos were fair. Hogan defended his position, stating he believed in Trump's values. But his choice also impacted his brand. His beer, Real American Beer, aimed at a conservative audience, had modest sales in Spain, where it was seen as a curiosity. Critics suggested Hogan alienated part of his fanbase. Could he have managed his image differently? Politics was always present in Hogan's career, even if subtly. In the 1990s, his American hero persona already carried patriotic undertones. But in an era of global divisions, his choice to support Trump exposed him to greater scrutiny. In Spain, where public figures are judged for their stances, Hogan became a case study. Should icons take political positions or remain neutral? Hogan's support for Trump humanized him for some, showing conviction, but distanced others who saw inconsistency in a hero who preached unity. His story reflects the challenges of being a celebrity in polarized times. In Spain, this chapter will be remembered as a moment of courage for some and controversy for others. How do we navigate our beliefs in a divided world? Hogan's relationship with politics is a reminder that even the greatest icons face tough choices. His life challenges us to reflect on the role of celebrities in society. In a country like Spain, where political debates are intense, Hogan's story asks us, how do we balance authenticity and public responsibility? Before his death, rumors about Hulk Hogan's health circulated intensely. In June 2025, speculation suggested he was in a coma or on the brink of death. His wife, Sky Daily, debunked this, stating his heart was strong after cervical surgery. In Spain, where celebrity gossip spreads quickly, these rumors caused confusion. Why did these speculations gain such traction? Hogan's visible frailty fueled the narratives. Photos of him using a cane after recent surgeries contrasted with the image of the 1980s Titan. In Spain, fans shared these images with nostalgia but also concern. The sight of an aged hero was hard to accept. Were we prepared to see Hogan so vulnerable? His physical deterioration was a reminder of everyone's mortality. The confirmed cause of his death on July 24, 2025, was an acute myocardial infarction, aggravated by previously undisclosed leukemia and atrial fibrillation, according to medical records. Studies show that professional wrestlers face elevated cardiac risks due to chronic physical stress. In Spain, this reignited debates about the dangers of professional wrestling. Is the spectacle worth the human cost? Rumors also touched on his personal life. Some suggested Hogan was distant from his family, but his reconciliation with Brooke in 2023 debunked this. In Spain, where family is a central value, this news brought relief. However, his absence from his grandchildren raised questions. What kept him away? These speculations reflect fans' desire to understand their idols' lives. On Spanish social media, fans speculated that the stress of controversies, such as his support for Trump and the boos at WWE, may have affected his health. Though without evidence, these theories show how we seek meaning in tragedy. How do icons cope with public pressure? Hogan's death reminds us that fame can distort the truth. The wave of rumors reflects how Spain embraced Hogan as an icon. His death sparked tributes but also speculation. His story invites us to question, what do we really know about those we admire? Hogan teaches us that, behind the spotlight, there is a man fighting his own battles. Hulk Hogan was not just a wrestler, he was an architect of pop culture. His Hulkamania transformed professional wrestling into a global phenomenon, generating millions for WWE and winning hearts in Spain. From Rocky III to appearances at the Grammys with Cyndi Lauper, Hogan brought wrestling to diverse audiences. In Spain, his films on open channels made him an icon even for non-fans. How did he connect such varied audiences? His impact goes beyond entertainment. Hogan inspired wrestlers like John Cena and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who cite his influence. In Spain, where wrestling gained traction through platforms like YouTube, Hogan is seen as the pioneer who paved the way. His motto of resilience motivated fans to face personal challenges. What lessons does his life offer for those seeking to overcome obstacles? However, his legacy carries shadows. The steroid scandal in the 1990s and the racist comments in 2015 tarnished his image. In Spain, where social sensitivity has grown, some question whether Hogan deserves celebration. Others argue that his mistakes do not erase his achievements. Can we separate the man from the myth? This debate reflects the complexity of honoring public figures. On a personal level, Hogan left a story of redemption. His reconciliation with Brooke shows that broken bonds can be restored. In Spain, where family is central, this narrative resonates. But his absence from his grandchildren raises questions about priorities. What are we willing to sacrifice for? Fame? Hogan challenges us to reflect on our choices. His economic and cultural impact remains undeniable. In Spain, Hogan will be remembered as the man who brought emotion through the screen, inspiring dreams in a distant country. His story is a mosaic of glories and flaws, an invitation to reflect on fame, family, and redemption. How will we remember Hogan in the years to come? Hogan's journey is a lesson about the power and price of legend. In Spain, he will continue to inspire but also spark debates about how we judge our heroes. His life invites us to ask, what defines a lasting legacy? The answer lies in the memories he left and the questions we continue to ask. Hulk Hogan's death on July 24, 2025, shook the world. An acute myocardial infarction, aggravated by leukemia and atrial fibrillation, took the icon's life at his home in Clearwater, Florida, according to TMZ and WWE. In Spain, where wrestling has a passionate base, fans flooded social media with tributes, sharing clips of matches and messages of grief. Why did his loss touch a country so far away so deeply? In his final months, Hogan seemed to be in a revival. He was promoting his Real American Beer and appeared at WWE in January 2025, despite being booed, possibly for his support of Trump. In Spain, where American politics is viewed with distance, the boos sparked debate. Was it a rejection of his politics or the wear of his image? The polarization of his figure reflects the challenges of being an icon in divided times. The reconciliation with Brooke was a point of light. After years of tension, they reconnected in 2023, and she expressed gratitude for healing wounds. In Spain, where family is a sacred value, this story moved people. However, Hogan never met his grandchildren, leaving a void. What does this tell us about a legend's priorities? His life is a mirror of difficult choices. Hogan's death reignited discussions about the risks of wrestling. Studies indicate that chronic physical strain increases cardiac issues in wrestlers. In Spain, fans questioned whether surgeries and the stress of fame contributed to his end. Was Hogan a victim of his own legacy? This question echoes in a country that values health and longevity. Newspapers like El País compared Hogan to icons like Muhammad Ali, highlighting his cultural influence. Spanish fans shared stories of how he inspired them to overcome challenges. His death not only closed a chapter but opened a dialogue about the cost of fame. How do we honor someone with such a complex legacy? Hogan challenges us to find balance between admiration and criticism. Hogan's passing is a reminder of the mortality of heroes. In Spain, he will be remembered as the man who brought magic to screens, uniting generations. His story invites us to reflect, how do we celebrate those who shaped our lives, despite their imperfections? Hulkamania will live on forever, but it is up to us to decide how to tell his story. Hulk Hogan was a titan who transformed professional wrestling into a global spectacle, leaving an indelible mark on Spain and the world. His life, a mosaic of triumphs, controversies, and redemptions, challenges us to reflect on the price of fame and the value of humanity. Share in the comments how Hogan inspired you, like this video, and subscribe for more stories of icons who changed the world. Don't miss the video on the side about other legends who left their mark.